Goodbye, Frenchie. But here is the question nobody is asking. Was that really an ending? Or the most brilliantly disguised setup in superhero television history? Welcome to DramaCrypt. Today we are going deep, and I mean deep, into why Frenchie's death in Episode 7 is not just a tragic farewell to a beloved character. It is the exact mechanism that will bring Homelander's so-called immortality crashing down around him. Forget the V1. Forget Butcher's unraveling, because in his final breaths, cradled in Kimiko's arms, Frenchie may have left inside her body a gift so dangerous that Vought's entire New World Order does not stand a chance. Marie Moreau and Jordan Lee are not here by coincidence. The uranium was not a failed experiment. And Kimiko's blood? It may just be the grave where Homelander's false godhood gets buried. Get comfortable, because by the end of this video, you will be crying and cheering at the exact same time. Let us start with the terrifying new reality the boys just dropped on us. Homelander is no longer just the leader of the Seven. He is, as of Episode 7, the actual ruler of the United States of America. And he wants the whole world to know it. After injecting himself with the V1 compound at the end of last week's episode, he has achieved what no supe before him ever has: true biological immortality. And the very first thing he does with that power? He walks into the Oval Office and starts rewriting the country. The scene is genuinely chilling. He instructs Ashley and President Stephen Calhoun to enforce mandates so extreme they border on parody. Banning baby formula, banning nut milk, deploying troops into American cities to round up anyone who refuses to kneel. But when Ashley's psychic abilities reveal what the president actually thinks of him behind that forced smile, Homelander does not negotiate. He simply reaches out and crushes the man's skull like it is nothing. That is your opening 5 minutes. And it does not stop there. Soldier Boy, Homelander's own biological father, walks in and tells him he is done. He wants out of America entirely. Homelander's response? He chokes him unconscious and locks him back into cryogenic stasis. And the Deep, the man who has humiliated himself season after season trying to stay in Homelander's good graces, gets fired with a casual, almost cheerful, wishing you all the best. No scene, no drama, just erasure. This is what a villain with nothing left to fear looks like. Every check on his power, political, personal, tactical, has been eliminated. And the one weapon the boys had built to stop him, the soup-killing virus, is now completely useless against an immortal target. So where does that leave our team? Here is where the episode stops being a superhero story and becomes something closer to a tragedy. Butcher, refusing to surrender, designs a backup plan. Using enriched uranium and research tied to the Soviet experiments that originally transformed Soldier Boy in the 1980s, he attempts to do the same to Kimiko, exposing her to controlled radiation in hopes that her regenerative abilities will adapt her physiology, morphing her compound V into a power-stripping radiation beam like Soldier Boy's. It is desperate, it is dangerous, and Kimiko agrees to it without hesitation. Frenchie never leaves her side. These two have been the emotional heartbeat of this show since the very beginning, and the writers knew exactly what they were doing when they had them talk about getting a dog together, about the future, about settling down. In television, that conversation is a death sentence. We all felt it. Then Homelander arrives at the base, hunting for Sister Sage, and Frenchie makes a choice. He locks himself inside the radiation chamber with Homelander, alone, unarmed, running entirely on nerve, and he starts talking. He tells Homelander that the procedure worked, that Kimiko is already transformed, that she already carries Soldier Boy's beam inside her and can use it at any moment. It is a bluff, a complete and total bluff, but it is delivered with such conviction that Homelander, the immortal God King of America, flinches. He flies away rather than risk losing the very power he just gained. The bluff works. And Frenchie collapses to the floor, his body already consumed by radiation poisoning. Kimiko finds him there. She holds him as the team gathers around them. His last words to her, from the first, are pulled directly from the source comic. A quiet, perfect goodbye that somehow makes everything worse. Now, here is the question DramaCrypt cannot stop thinking about. Was the bluff really a bluff? Butcher's entire plan was to concentrate uranium inside Kimiko's body until her compound V mutated. Frenchie spent hours inside that radiation chamber with her. When he stepped in front of Homelander, Frenchie was already soaked in radiation. And he stood close enough, long enough, for that exposure to transfer. What if that was not just a delay tactic? What if Frenchie, in his final act, completed the experiment himself, using his own irradiated body to push Kimiko's transformation over the edge? And if Kimiko's blood now carries a concentrated radioactive charge that can strip Compound V from any Sook system, Marie Moreau, whose entire ability is controlling blood, suddenly becomes the most important person in this story. Think about that. While Frenchie is dying, Billy Butcher is becoming something the show has been building toward for 2 seasons. The second villain. He has fully surrendered to the hallucination of Joe Kessler, the ghost of his old military comrade that has been haunting him since Season 4. And he has made the decision to release the Sook virus on a global scale. Not as a precision strike, as a genocide. Every living being with Compound V in their bloodstream, gone. That includes Homelander. It also includes Kimiko, Ryan, every Sook who chose the right side. Butcher does not care anymore. The show is now drawing a very deliberate parallel. Homelander represents authoritarian tyranny, rule by fear, rule by force, the belief that power justifies everything. Butcher represents something equally dark, nihilistic extremism, the belief that if you cannot save the world cleanly, you burn it down. 2 monsters, 2 ideologies, and the boys trapped between them with no clean exit. Which is exactly why the appearance of Marie Moreau and Jordan Lee matters so much. These 2 characters, introduced in the Gen V spin-off series, finally make their Season 5 debut, and their arrival is not decorative. Marie and Jordan link up with Annie and Mother's Milk and help shut down O Father's psychic screening operation at Vought Studios, where non-believers were being identified and eliminated in real time. That is their function in this episode. But their purpose in the finale, that is the conversation every fan is having right now. Marie's hemokinesis, her ability to manipulate blood at a molecular level, is the one power in this universe that could theoretically target the V1 inside Homelander's bloodstream. Not destroy him, not outfight him, simply unmake the one thing that makes him unstoppable. The question is whether the show is bold enough to let it happen. Because this is still The Boys, the episode makes room, even now, for moments of pitch-black absurdity. After Homelander dismisses him with a handshake and a smile, the Deep trudges to the shoreline, hoping to find comfort in the one place he has always belonged, the ocean. Instead, he is confronted by a hammerhead shark, voiced to the absolute delight of everyone watching by Samuel L. Jackson, who informs him, in no uncertain terms, that he is no longer welcome in the water. The marine life blame him for the oil pipeline disaster. They will attack him on sight. It is devastating and hilarious in equal measure. The Deep has lost everything, his rank, his relevance, his self-respect, and now his last refuge. Chase Crawford plays the scene with a kind of broken, bewildered sadness that somehow makes you feel genuinely sorry for one of the most contemptible characters on television. His ending in the finale is one of the most anticipated unknowns of the season. Whether it lands as comedy, tragedy, or both, it is going to be something. And then there is Ryan. Of all the characters whose arcs are converging on the finale, Ryan Butcher is the one who carries the most unresolved weight and the most raw power. He is the son of Homelander and the surrogate son of Billy Butcher. He has watched his biological father declare himself a god and murder a president. He has now learned that his mentor is planning to release a virus that would kill Ryan himself. Neither of the men who shaped him actually has his interests at heart. That realization is what makes Ryan the wild card. He is physically capable of stopping Homelander, possibly the only person on the planet who is. But why would he fight to save a world that Butcher wants to poison and Homelander wants to enslave? The show is leaving open the possibility that Ryan simply opts out, that he walks away from both men and lets them destroy each other. And that outcome, if it happens, would be the most complete failure imaginable for both Butcher and Homelander simultaneously. A son who refuses to be anyone's weapon, in a show about what power does to people, that might be the most radical ending of all. The episode closes on a cliffhanger, with no easy comfort attached to it. Frenchie is gone. Homelander is playing God in the White House. Butcher has crossed a line he cannot walk back from. And as the credits roll, the song that plays over the final images is Dream a Little Dream of Me, the exact same song Kimiko sang to herself in Season 3, daydreaming about dancing with Frenchie, about a life she imagined they might one day share. The show brought that song back to tell us something. The only love story that ever felt truly human in this universe is over. The series finale, titled Blood and Bone, arrives on May 20th, 2026, exclusively on Prime Video. Three forces are on a collision course: Homelander's divine delusion, Butcher's genocidal endgame, and a team of broken, grieving people who are somehow still standing. Someone is going to have to choose what kind of world survives, if anything survives at all. That is where we are, DramaCrypt. Standing at the edge of the end. Drop your theory in the comments right now. Do you believe Marie Moreau can actually extract the V1 from Homelander's bloodstream before Butcher finishes what he started? And was Frenchie's sacrifice the move that makes it possible? We will be breaking down every second of the finale the moment it drops. Until then, stay sharp, stay suspicious, and do not trust anyone wearing a cape. See you next week. DramaCrypt. We don't just watch the show, we read between the frames.